We'll begin this problem on here, and then we're going to switch over and use our graphing calculator to answer some of these questions about maximizing revenue and so on. But to begin this problem, I need to first come up with a model to express revenue. Well, revenue, simply put, is how much money we make, and it's fairly easy to find. All I need to do is figure out how much I'm charging for something and multiply that by how many things I sell, and that's going to tell me how much money I take in. What makes this problem slightly complicated is the way they kind of word the price on this one. They don't give me a straight up price, but rather they give me an equation or a function to describe what the price would be. So to find the price, they're saying do $26,000. So whatever this problem is or product is that I'm selling, it's expensive. And subtract 160 times X, and then X is going to represent the number of products I sell. So depending on how many I sell, I'm going to change the price on it. So that's what makes this a little bit confusing, but it's not too bad once we see an example of what to do. So to express the revenue function, I'm going to start with R of X, the revenue as a function of X, and say that's equal to the price. Well, remember, the price is expressed this way. So I'm going to use a price of 26,000 minus 160X, and then I need to multiply that by the number of units sold. Well, remember, we just said X is the number of units sold, so I just multiply this by X. It's a weird way to kind of set up the problem, but it's pretty easy once you see what to do. Which means that if I distribute, my revenue function is going to be 26,000X minus 160X squared. So at this point, we'll switch over and use our calculator to maximize our revenue. However, a couple things just to mention about this. I know this is going to be a parabola because there's my X squared. I also know it's going to have a maximum because I can see that my X squared is negative, so I have an upside down opening parabola. So right there is what I'm going to be finding once I switch over to my calculator.
Now that we've found our revenue equation or function, I'm going to go ahead and switch over to my calculator to find the maximum value of this. The toughest part of this may be setting up a window that works. Well, as we've done before, we could always use kind of guess and check to find a window and keep guessing until I find something where I see the maximum point of that parabola. But let me show you something that actually someone in class came up with and see if you like this. So go ahead and select zoom, and then select actually option 0 way down here, which is zoom fit. Now I absolutely hate zoom fit. I don't like it at all, but I'll show you how it could be used in a situation like this. So if I select zoom fit and press enter, you'll see why I hate this in a second. I actually get a really horrendous looking picture of a parabola. In fact, it doesn't look like a parabola at all. It really just looks like a line, even though it is supposed to be a parabola. I hate zoom fit, but here's what someone discovered. If you go back into zoom and then select zoom out, option 3, you actually have to press enter to make it zoom out. Right there, if you do it once, you kind of start to maybe see it curve a little bit more. If you zoom out again, press enter again, you should see it curve a little bit more. And so this was an option that someone came up with, and look, eventually it will get to the point where I can see the parabola curving, I can see the vertex. So I don't like this method, but it works, so I'll show you it. So now that we can see that maximum point, let's find it. So as we've done so many times, if you've watched the other videos, second trace, and then option 4 is to find the maximum. They're going to ask you to go to a little bit to the left of the vertex, so let me get a little bit closer than I am now. So over there should be good. I'll press enter. Go a little bit to the right of the vertex, so over here, and press enter, and then just press enter for guess. It'll find you the highest point in between there. The real trick to this problem, I guess, once we found the window, is to make sure we've answered the two questions and given them the information they want. The maximum revenue is the output, the Y value. So there is my maximum revenue, that $1 million. And so I've gone ahead and labeled it $1 million, you know, use commas and dollar signs and all that. The next question was, how many units should I sell to maximize revenue? Well, they told me at the beginning that X is the number of units that I sold. So the X value is the question, or is the answer to what they're looking for. And because I'm selling whatever this product is, probably makes sense to round it to a whole number. So I'm going to say 81 units is going to be my maximum number of units I should sell. The final question is a little bit interesting. It's different than we've done before. They ask us about what price I should use, or what price I should charge to maximize the revenue. Well, that answer is not going to be found in your calculator screen. Rather, what I need to do is go all the way back to the beginning where we're given this equation that talked about price. It said to find the price, do 26,000 minus 160 times the units you sell. Well, we just discovered 81 units is our maximum number of units, or the number of units we should sell to maximize our revenue. So 26,000 minus 160 times 81, just typing that into your calculator, gets me a price point of $13,040. So I don't know what it is I'm selling, but I guess it's expensive. So there's the price I should charge. That will get me 81 sales, which will maximize my revenue and get me about $1 million, a little bit over $1 million. So again, make sure you're answering the question they're asking, and be careful with setting up that window.